Hey, let's go. Welcome to another episode. It's Ask a Photo Pro. It is Thursday. Today's the day that I look at your photos. It is photo review day. I know that's your favorite day of the week. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, crew. Glad you guys are here. Let's get it on. So, as you guys know, I'm Carty, your friendly neighborhood photographer. I am here, 3 days a week for you, the emerging photographer, to help you get to the next level with your photography. That's my goal. It's my goal always. Let's make sure. You guys see me? We live? All right. Let's make sure. We're good? You guys here? Say hello if you're rocking. All right. Welcome. It is another episode of Ask a Photo Pro. Let's go. Okay, it is time for real photo reviews. The photo reviews that I do every single Thursday. Thursdays are the day for photo reviews. I know you guys love it. Say hi if you're watching. All right. So I have set some rules to my photo reviews. Rule number one now is, let's go, Scott. Glad you're here. Rule number one is one photo. That's it. Rule number one photo. The other rules, 4,000 by 4,000 wide by whatever long it is. And then the last thing is 100 DPI. That's all I need. I don't need your massive files, but I do look at them at a 4K monitor. So I like to see them nice and big. Let's see what you guys have in store for me in the photo reviews. At the end of today's episode, I'm going to give you an assignment. I know you guys love my assignments, and I haven't given an assignment in a while. I'm going to start giving my assignments on Thursday. Today's Thursday, so you have a week until next week, which I will be looking at the assignments. All right, guys, let's get into this week's submissions. Sebastian K is coming in hot with his first submission. Sebastian says, hello, beautiful people. According to the new rules, I am only sending one photo. Lately, I've been learning how to use Photoshop. Let's go, Nicholas. Glad you're here, my guy. Thanks for becoming a member or becoming a subscriber. Welcome. He says, according to the new rules, I'm only sending one photo. Lately, I've been learning to use Photoshop for retouching portraits. It takes more time than in Lightroom. You gotta retouch. You gotta retouch in Photoshop. You can't retouch in Lightroom. I mean, you can, but Photoshop is surgery. Lightroom is like the general hospital. It takes more time in Lightroom, but it's more fun and more rewarding. As for the photo itself, I have many portraits from this shoot, but this one is special. There's a connection to the subject. There are emotions. Please be strict with me. First photograph from Sebastian. Let's get into it, Sebastian. Right off the top, I see the sharpness. That's the thing that hits me right off the top, Sebastian, is the sharpness is key. Like, I'm diving right in to the eyes. Like, I'm seeing that right away. There's no denial as far as the sharpness. His smile grabs me right away. The next thing is, as you start diving into this photograph a little bit deeper, I start to see the sunset. I start to see the fact that he's on a beach, but I love the way that you've composed this in such a way that it's so tight that you actually see it like a magazine cover. And if you look at this like a magazine cover, it's a cover. There's lots of room. There's lots of room for text. There's lots of room for text. There's lots of room for text. It's strong. And also, again, because you're using the surfboard as what I would call almost like a blocker, you're blocking the light that's coming from this direction, so you have less of a reflection back. So you're creating the shade here, which is giving you a really gradual transition from the highlight side to the shade side. So for me, this is a 10 out of 10. It's an 11 out of 10. This is really, really great, Sebastian. I mean, how hard can I be on you with this photo? I see one thing that you missed, but it's the smallest thing. And that's this little catch on the eye. I would take this little bit off the eye. That's the small thing that I noticed. But other than that, you've got all the flecks off the suit. There's a little white dot here that you could definitely take away. But you got all the flecks off the suit. Another small thing here, here, here. But I have nothing else to say. Your skin retouching is great. It really is quality. It looks like you didn't touch it, which is exactly how it's supposed to look. This is an excellent, excellent, excellent first photo from Sebastian Kawaka. Let's go. By the way, this episode that you're watching is commercial free. And the reason that is commercial free is because of the members of this channel. The members of this channel is why you get commercial free live streams. So thank you if you're a member. And if you're a subscriber, you'll notice that you're not able to chat. You're not able to chat because this is a members only chat scenario. So all the people here that are saying hi, like Joel and Malcolm, Scott, Visual OD, all of you, thank you. I'm glad you guys are saying hi. I appreciate you all. If you're watching after the fact, make sure you leave a comment that says replay gang so I know that you guys are watching. All right, are you ready for our next photographer? I surely am. I'm very anxious to see who we got in store here. Who's next in the Discord? By the way, all of these photographs are submitted through Discord, so make sure that you're in my Discord. It's super simple. Just look at the description of the video that you're watching. You'll see my Discord link. Click join. Discord's a better experience with the app. So, by the way, if you're looking at Discord in your in-browser, it's better with the app. Use the app. Download the app. Have it on desktop. Have it on your phone. Get used to being on Discord. I've grown like a Discord community of over 500 photographers that are all trying to get to the next level. So this is how you submit. Make sure you're a part of it. All right, let's get to our next submitter. Unscratched, shot on his Sony a7 III 50mm f2, a 60th of a second at ISO 2500. Sweet girl and current muse is this dog. Let's get a look. Oops, that's not what we're showing you. We're showing you this. All right, look at those droopy eyes. 50mm, you're shooting at the right shutter speed, but the problem is the ISO is too open. You've said already that you're shooting at f2. F2 is like you're shooting with a lens that's a 1.8. F2 is almost wide open. Because of that, the depth of field is so shallow, and I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you the depth of field is so shallow that the whole eye isn't even in focus. Like we have focus here, but as the focus, it goes out of focus like so quickly on the other side of the eye, brings the nose completely out of focus, which again, it's okay. But when you really look at this photo, you only have this small area of focus in the picture. Everything else is soft. And again, I know it's soft because of depth of field, but it's just gonna look punchier if you give yourself more depth, like f4, f2.8, like give yourself a little bit more focus. Our eye wants to look away when we see not enough of the frame is in focus. The other thing is overall, there's what I would call low contrast. Low contrast is like that overall look of gray. You can see it has an overall feeling of gray. This white dog is looking gray. This is gray. Down here is gray. Over here is gray. So because there's an overall feeling of gray, there needs to be white, black, and gray. And the things that we need to be brighter, like the highlights here, a little bit in here, the highlights here, these things that we need to be a little bit brighter because they're gray, it just makes the photo feel muddy. That's how we call low contrast photos. You need to up the exposure, up the brightness, up the contrast a little bit. And also in post-production, just make sure when you look at a photo, make sure that you can see black, especially for black and white, obviously, black, white, and gray, all three of them, and make sure not one of them dominates. Cool. I hope that helps you. Thank you for your first submission, Unscratched. Let's get into Freddy. Freddy says, my submission for the week, shot with a 90D and a 50, practicing portraits with my wife. It wasn't as simple as I thought it would be. Let's go. Some portraits with the wife. Let's go, Freddy. Let's look at Freddy's submission. This is a nice idea. There's things that I want you to watch, and the first thing is the feeling that it's a posed picture. Like, I feel like she's holding it, and then you're taking the photo. So what we're trying to get is, it's like, especially if we're trying to shoot lifestyle, when we're trying to shoot lifestyle, that has to feel real. And for me, the hand feels fake. So you need to make sure that there's no aspects of the pose and anything that feels unnatural. Just the fact that she's, yo, Junebug, let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being a part of this crew. Again, let's go, Junebug. Welcome, I'm glad you've become a member. Again, let's go, Junebug. So, thank you, appreciate you. You get the smoke. Know that the pose is super, super, super important. And when you're really getting into like the small details and the kind of stuff that I notice as a photographer, I notice with working with makeup artists, with working with stylists and all that stuff, these are the things that I notice. The thing that I noticed first off is your wife's lips are overpainted. Her lip ends here, but she's painting lipstick up to here in order to make her lip look bigger. In digital photography, you can see that so obvious, and a lip line that's, I mean, again, I don't know why white girls are so subconscious or self-conscious about their lips, and they're injecting them and doing all of this stuff. But the overpainted lip, just have her, first of all, not close her mouth when you're shooting photos. Don't have her close her mouth, because that's going to make her lips look smaller even. Just have her have a natural state. And our natural state, our mouth isn't closed. Our natural state, our mouth looks like this. So if you can have her with her mouth like this, and especially when you're practicing portraits, like, get her more, let's go, YL. VL.
New member.
Let's go, VL. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Carty crew, VL. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that's something that I want you to look at. And again, your wife is beautiful. She doesn't need to overpaint her lips. This is her own self-consciousness from having, from thinking that she needs to compete with all the other people who are, injecting stuff into their lips. So, that's the thing I noticed first. Everything else, how her hair is, the style, her styling, everything is great. I just wish that we had eye contact. I think that she needs to look at camera. I think looking at camera is what connects you with the portrait. It's what connects you. It's what's connecting you with me. You know, when I make eye contact, you feel more connected with me, and it makes you feel like I'm looking at you specifically. When we make eye contact in portraits, that's what we're doing. We're having our subject make eye contact with us, but it's not for us, it's for the viewer. So eye contact is also very, very, very powerful. So yeah, those are my two things. As far as the crop is great because you've shot it in such a way that you've given it lots of top space. You've given yourself enough space here to the hand, although I don't like the pose that she's doing. You have given yourself enough space, and you've given yourself enough space up here because this is this down here is 12 inches and that way is 8 inches. When we go to Instagram, we're going to lose 2 inches. So we're going to lose that much when it goes to Instagram. So it's still a strong photo. It's still a viable photo. Like crop wise, it works. You've just put all of your space on the top. What I want you to make sure is that you're not dropping the head like just dead center in the middle. Like be creative as far as, you know, give yourself, you know, you can push the head space up a little bit, like a little bit, you know, but overall, as far as me learning about your work, the exposure is good, the focus is good, the location is good, the idea is good, the clothing is good. There's so many things that are working. Just for new photographers, don't pose. Like that's the trick. Like don't get your subjects to be like it just looks cheesy. You know what I mean? Your girl is like better at posing than you think. You just have to not cue her to do silly things like, oh, touch the berries. Oh, point at the, like, no one does that. You know what I mean? So just don't do it in your photos. You know what I mean? Have her in this forest on her phone. That's a photo. You know what I mean? Have her like yawning or something like that's like, take a perfect moment and don't try to make it more perfect by making it stylized. Take a perfect moment and make that moment an off moment by a funny expression or by her doing something that she shouldn't be doing in this forest, like squatting to take a pee. Like that's the funny photo. Yeah, you're trying to make photos that are memorable because you only have a fraction of a second. As far as your first submission, I think that's your first submission, Freddy. Maybe not. I think you've submitted some other stuff before, for sure. But Freddy, just work on your poses and look at Italian Vogue. Look at French Vogue. Look at Vanity Fair. Look at the lifestyle pictures. Lifestyles is the hardest thing to shoot, which is regular people doing regular things, shot in a stylized, cool way. All right, let's get into our next shooter. Cam CS. Cam says, shot with the M50 with an 85, looking for my niche. I feel most comfortable with street photography. This is a picture of a stranger I tried to capture without her knowing. Cam CS. Cam, this pic is pretty good. Like, you definitely have something going. I want you to see there's something that's weird going on either with your retouching or your lens. I'm seeing, I think it might, I don't know if it's your lens or your retouching, but I'm seeing a huge area of blur here. And I'm also seeing like, I'm seeing blur through this whole area. So I'm wondering, are you just a bad retoucher and using the blur tool? Because this is, it's too much blur. I can see the blur without even enlarging the photo. And once I go to 100%, I see the neck and I see either this spot here that you missed here, and then I see all this blurred. So we don't blur anymore. This is a technique from literally 20 years ago. We use split frequency. We use frequency separation and like dodge and burn. And also the trend is actually showing skin looking like skin. We all now in 2023 can spot Photoshop in a second and spot bad Photoshop even faster. So as far as street photography, there's no need to retouch street photography. Like retouch portraits, and You were so close to this woman with your 85. Why didn't you just show her the photo that you just took? Ask her, can I take a photo of you? Here's the one I took, like, without you knowing. And then break the fifth wall. You know what I mean? We can't, like, there's a certain kind of street photography which is voyeuristic, but how you learn how to break your mindset is by doing things that you wouldn't normally do. How you learn how to be a different person, how you grow, how you learn is by doing things that are difficult, by doing the thing that makes you like that's the thing that you're supposed to do. You were this close to this woman and she's got such a beautiful face. All you needed to do was get on the other side of her so you could photograph her face and just say, hey, you have a beautiful face. Can I take your photo? Simple. Answer's always yes. Lead with a compliment, lead with a compliment, lead with a compliment, and the answer is always yes. I love your hair. I love your style. I love your face. I love your smile. Whatever it is, try I love your face. That one actually works. I've said I love your face, and makes a big smile happen, and then you get that photo. There's compositionally, you're close with the composition, but every time you shoot horizontal, I want you to imagine that horizontal is 2 pages in a magazine. So because that's 2 pages in a magazine, I want you to see that your 2 pages in a magazine and where the gutter is or where the center page is cuts the top of her head off. So she needs to be pushed. She needs to be pushed back. Yeah. She needs to be pushed back that way because compositionally, you're trying to also maybe include this guy in the picture as some sort of a eye line thing. The depth of field is making it so the distractions of the background aren't so distraction. But in order to make this an editorial picture, you need to come around at least so you're getting a profile of her. You're kind of shooting over her shoulder, which is kind of stealing. You know what I mean? It's like, break the fifth wall. Just ask them. That's one thing. Second, move her just back just a little bit. You can see anytime there's something that's light, it's going to be taking your eye away from your subject. So the depth of field is how you're trying to alleviate that. But again, how you fix that is ask her, and even she looks at you, and then you're able to like get that photo. There's also a contrast issue. The contrast is, as I mentioned with the last shooter, it's just the look of gray. This is black, her skin is gray, the background is gray, her white thing is gray, the highlights are kind of gray. Overall, this is a low contrast image, which seems to be a thing that newer photographers have a hard time with achieving proper contrast. I want you to look at this photo. I know in this photo you see black, white, and gray, but without crunching the blacks and going way too far, the blacks can be blacker, the whites can be whiter, and the overall exposure of this photo can come up just a bit. I hope that helps you. It's a great submission, Freddy. I think that you could push this just a little bit further. Oh, that's Cam. Sorry, my bad, Cam. I think that you could push it just a little bit further, Cam. But again, and also your post-production, just watch. My goodness. You can see, I see some areas of skin that there's blur and some areas that there's not. It's just, for a trained eye, I'm going to see this not blurred area. I'm going to see this, it just looks like a mess. And you're also shooting with like a beginner camera, like an M50 is a beginner camera. So it doesn't have the best sensors, and like a beginner camera with an 85, amazing, but upgrade the body, upgrade your body, like get something that's like an RF, get something that's full frame. You're trying to grow. And again, it's like you're learning on this, but it's like you're learning on something that's not creating the greatest files. So That's what I'm worrying about. I hope that helps you, Cam. Thank you. That is a photo from Cam. Let's go. Let's get into our next shooter. Slippy Hollow, first submission. This is one lucky shot. I picked up a camera for the first time in April, began shooting ever since. We were doing a pregnancy shoot while we were waiting for the car to get out of the parking lot. I wanted to try something. Turned out to probably be my favorite picture that I took ever. Shot in the a Sony Alpha 7R3 with a 5518. What I like, it kind of feels like a movie poster, and it's a style I'm trying to replicate. So let me have a look at what you got to offer here. This is a photograph from Slippy Hollow. All right, so there's a overall green cast to it, and I feel like this is probably something that you're doing intentionally in post-production. Like the cast, it's like I get it, but I want you to kind of try to master, especially if you're new, master neutral, because this is white. But it appears green, right? Like there's so many things that appear dark, and because the light is coming from the top, you can see how the light is lit on the top of her hand. That says that it's coming from the top, and how this side is shadow. Her bangs and her hair is blocking the light that's actually kicking to her face. So yes, you do have some interesting catch lights in her eyes for sure, but the exposure on her skin is like minus, I would say, a stop. It could definitely be up quite a bit. And because the exposure's low, we start to get like the darkness under her eyes, and her eyes don't look as white as they could be because of her hair, and like there's not a lot of light getting in. I love the idea, and the reason for you why this picture is so successful is because you didn't take this picture, you made this picture. You had an idea, and this was your execution. You know, this was your, oops, I can't write. This was your execution. So if you imagine, that's how you become a photographer, is you do that process. I have an idea, although it was fast and you were leaving a thing, you don't try to do these things in 2 seconds. You set time aside to make photos. And if this is a person, if this is your partner, if you can shoot this again, like, then again, like you need to get some light in this, like you need to get some light in this way, you know, from the front in order to catch her. It can't be top light. And you can see how it's lighting the top of her head, but not lighting here. Top light. It's also lighting the top of the jacket and not underneath. So the bokeh, the 55 millimeter, all of that stuff, dope. Your focus is pretty good. Is pretty good. I want you to make sure that you're focusing on like between the white and the colored part of the eye. You're looking right here, and you're choosing a single focus point. You're not letting your camera choose the focus point. You're using one focus point, or if your camera has eye tracking, you're using eye tracking, and you're shooting a frame and you're checking it, and you're shooting another frame and you're checking it. So to make sure that there's no blur. I think also you have to watch how shallow the depth of field is you go. Just because you have a camera that goes to 1.8, you don't have to shoot at 1.8. I have lenses like this camera and this 50 millimeter. This is a 1.2, but I don't shoot at 1.2 or 1.4 or 1.8 or f2. Around f2, f2.2, 2.5 is kind of where I start with my 50. It's because it can go that bright. And by the way, if you want to see how bright a $3,000 50 millimeter lens is, it looks like that. That is 1.2. So, yeah, just don't go so wide open. I think a lot of shooters, just because their lens can, they're like, oh, 1.4, 1.8, 1.2. I think for your early submission, this is really good. Like, be proud of this. Be proud of this. I'd like to see the whole frame, because it's cropped. It's pre-cropped a little bit to 8x10 for your cropping for Instagram, which means you're thinking about Instagram as the vehicle for your photographs. It's okay, but there's all kinds of other places like magazines that you should be thinking about first. Like, think about shooting for magazines first. That'll be okay for Instagram. But if you're thinking about shooting and cropping for Instagram, you're not thinking about shooting editorially. You're just thinking about social media. And it's rare that those people who are looking like this on your feed are actually hiring you. All right, I hope that helped. Make sure that you shoot lots of frames. Make sure that your color balance is nailed. Make sure your color balance is nailed. And make sure you continue to make pictures like you did here and not take pictures like everybody with an iPhone does. Cool. Very good job. Slippy Hollow. Well done. Thank you very much for submitting. Slippy, we're going to give you a little smoke here because it's your first submission. Thank you for submissioning. Thanks for submitting. All right, let's get into Jessica Jean. Jessica says, this client is a yoga teacher, wanted some shots to represent her connection to nature, so we went to the woods and see what we could get. Sony a7 III ISO 250, 2.8, 3/20th, with a 75 milli. Jessica, you're a good shooter. You definitely shoot in an editorial fashion. I really like this. You definitely have a vibe here. I like it a lot. You definitely have a vibe here, Jessica. Like, look at it as a cover. This is a cover. Like, you understand editorial. You're giving this enough space. I love the bare feet. I love the line. And also, this is one of those editorial pictures that I just believe it. Like, what she's doing, I believe it. I don't feel like she's mailing it in. I feel like this is a pose that's completely believable. The tones of the outfit, her skin, everything is perfect. Like, you really, really nailed this. The dappling of sun that's coming through, but you still chose to get her in a spot where there's no mixed light on her skin. So you can have perfect open shade on her skin. Great highlight on her hair. You didn't let that highlight burn out, which is great. I feel like the exposure is about maybe a third under. I mean, maybe a third. I would like to see this plus a third just to bring the skin, the neck, just like up a little bit in exposure. You see it here. It just feels just a little dark, but it's so good. It's so lovely. It definitely gets the applause. It definitely gets the smoke, Jessica. I know your level of talent. Know that I'm judging you against you. By the way, all the photographers that I critique, the ones that have submitted before, it helps me learn what their bar is. It helps me learn how good they are today. So I can, like, once you hit your bar, it's like doing the high jump. You know what I mean? Once you hit 4 feet on the high jump, now that's your bar. Now, whenever you don't hit 4 feet, the bar just falls. Because those pictures can't be in your portfolio. The only way is up, like 4.5 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Like, we're just trying to inch the bar up. And that comes from having somebody who's keeping you accountable and praising you when your quality hits it and calling you on it when your quality doesn't. That's what I'm here for. Very, very, very good job, Jessica. Proud of you. I can see that you really thought this out. Again, you heard earlier, Jessica, you are making pictures, not taking pictures. This is making pictures. This is outfit, idea, light, execution, pose, bare feet, the right path. This picture just keeps you looking at it that much longer. Because of these bright spots, and because we want people's eyes to go right here first, the darkness here is fighting with the darkness here. I mean, the lightness down there. So again, I'm just saying up the skin tone just a bit, because again, because you're backlit, your camera is exposing for back here. So you need to compensate a little bit to bring this back up. But again, very good job. That is photography from Jessica Jean. Let's go, Jessica. Thank you so much for submitting. All right, you guys want some more? You with me still? You hanging out here still? You guys appreciating this? You liking this content? Yes? As I mentioned earlier, the members of this channel is the reason why I'm here, is for you. And also, the members of this channel is why you have commercial-free content. So thank you to everybody, the 127 people. And you can see VL is the last one, so he's getting some love up there. Or she is getting, or they is getting some love up there. But also, how I'm able to give you these commercial-free streams is by a sponsor, and I sponsor this program. This podcast is brought to you by Carty Crew merch.
Every piece you see, designed by the photographer you're currently watching. And let me let you in on a little secret. Meticulously hand-stitched by the arthritic grandmothers of our very own viewers.
Well, what?
This creative community inspired this entire line. Your zeal for artistry, your tireless dedication, and your individuality shines in every stitch and design. This isn't just another piece of clothing, it's a badge of honor for every creator out there. From what I see here, they are mostly just black t-shirts and hoodies, but you do you, boo. You actually want me to read the rest of this script?
Oh my God, who is this guy?
From the nuanced patterns to the vibrant colors, everything has been designed keeping in mind the creative soul that lies within each one of us. Wow, who wrote that? There isn't a single pattern, not one.
Oh my God, leave the commentary.
There is hardly any nuance. But it says here, this merch represents more than just apparel. It's an emblem of our shared passion for creativity. Who wrote this? What absolute twaddle.
Wow, this guy's a great supporter.
All of this stuff is kind of basic, to be honest, but I'll keep that to myself.
Okay.
Let the world know you're a part of something bigger. A photographer on YouTube's clothing collection that he actually has the balls to make a commercial about.
Okay, what is going on?
What I meant to say is, a collective of photographers that celebrates and uplifts every form of creativity. I am aware, as the narrator, I'm not allowed to insert my own narrative. But, holy moly, this is horrible.
Wow.
Join the movement, embrace your creative spirit with Carty Crew merch. And yes, he is really calling this a movement. Be proud of your passion for photography. Be proud of your creative life. If photography is your life, flaunt it. The one paying for this advertisement has asked me to make a toast. Isn't this a podcast? Okay, it'll cost you another 20. Let's raise a toast to every photographer, artist, and creative out there. Thanks for being a part of this journey.
This guy's so
Did
patronizing.
that suit you? That was absolutely ridiculous. Please don't make me read anything like that again.
Back to the show. All right, guys, let's get into photo by Matthew Sargent. Matthew says, I'm working on booking some new clients and getting some more leads. I haven't shot anything this week, so I'll share an individual portrait I got from last week's family photo session in black and white. All right, Matthew, let's get it on. Matt, this is really great. This is really great. This exposure here, I'm feeling like the exposure here is just going just a little bit too hot, and I want you to notice why. The reason is because the highlight that's happening here, we're actually starting to lose skin. We're losing skin, and I think that you see it. You can see it here. You can see it a little bit well, you see it a lot here. Any place where there's a highlight and it goes to white, that means that you've gone too far in exposure. So the exposure here is quite perfect, but it's that 5 head that this guy has that's giving you that highlight. You can take this down a little bit using the highlight slider without losing the integrity of the exposure. You can lower the overall exposure as well, but it's a small thing. Your focus is tack. The focus is tack. And I can tell that you're watching my videos because I can tell from the location that you chose.
Gifted member.
Yo, calligraphy with another gifted member. Let's go. Calligraphy, you are so generous. Thank you so much, man. Calligraphy gets the real smoke. Once the members start getting gifted, we're going to have to set the place on fire, baby. Let's get it on. Thank you, Calligraphy. I appreciate the gifted. Let's go. Calligraphy just gifted a member.
New member.
And guess what? Nadia, you got gifted a membership. So Nadia Blake, wherever you are now the latest member of this Carty crew. And you didn't even have to pay a dime. It was all on Calligraphy. He's writing checks. All right, let's get it on. Back to Matthew. Matt, really strong, really strong. There's a small thing with the framing. You see the distance here versus the distance here. I mean, the offset still works editorially, but balance-wise, like my eye wants his head to be in this dark space right here, which would be a little bit more centered. You could lower yourself a little bit. Also, how he's pulling his chin. This, do you see how he has a double chin? He has a double chin because he's pulling his face back. And again, I'll demonstrate. Whenever you put a camera on someone, whenever you go like this, hey, can I take your photo? And you train a camera on them, the first thing that everybody does is this. They do this. They pull back. And when you pull back, for me, I mean, you can't see because I have a beard, but I don't have a double chin. But, and I have a chin, by the way. I should shave this just to show you. Look, it goes all the way back. So basically, whether it's a male or a female, we pull back, it gives you a double chin. And you can see he's doing it slightly, but he is pulling back. And because of that, it's making his neck look thicker. It's making his neck look thicker here. I mean, you're shooting him this way. So in him just pulling back, you can't see again from that angle because of my beard, but in him pulling back, it gives him that double chin. What we need to do is the opposite, which is tell our subjects to extend out. And then put your chin on a table. So once you put your chin on the table, what you're doing is you're letting your chin shadow below. And that's what we're missing here, is if you had him just extend his chin out, then we wouldn't get this shadow under here. And also, because guys, we also do this. Guys like pull, like not just do this. We do this and pull back. So he's pulling back with his head up. For some reason, people think that like a photo means, it's like, dude, I don't want to see up your nose. You know what I mean? Stick your head out and drop your chin this way. So it like tapers your face. So these kinds of directions are what you're going to be giving your subjects. He's like Kennedy, he's going up and to the left. Up and to the left. So, Matt, just when even it's a small solo dolo picture that you're doing after doing family portraits, you can get incredible portraits from anybody in any situation as long as you direct them. They don't know. Like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. I know, and I direct him, but you have to be the one that knows, and you have to be the one that's giving him all these little cues. But the idea, and also small things like his shirt is disheveled. You see how his vest is like yanked that way? these details, like how that's straight, but that goes that way, like getting that vest and pulling that over top of his collarbone, that's another thing. His collar is all disheveled, like he just went like this and like yanked his collar that way. So all of these things, like before I shoot anybody, the first thing I do is I look at them. I go like this. I back up and I go, change that shirt. Or I'll say, your collar's twisted, or this is pulled forward like this, or it's pulled too down like this. Like whatever it is, like you have to fix it, because people don't walk around with full length mirrors. Our subjects have no clue what they look like. They have no clue. So it's up to us to be like, hey, let's fix this. So I'm constantly like that with my subjects, and they thank you afterwards. They thank you for being that hyper detailed to all of those small things. And again, if you're going to show me a photo, I'm going to point out every single thing. Every single thing. It's a small thing, but it's the dust here, couple of little bits of dust on his shirt, but really it's just make sure that you just skew him up. By the way, now that I've showed you how his cardigan is skewed, you can't unsee it. Yes or yes? Now that I've showed you how his collar is unskewed, you can't unsee it. Yes or yes? This is what 30 years of experience is, and also this is what a magazine photographer is, and also this is how an art director looks at your photographs. If you're going to show your book, showing your portfolio to an art director, a photo editor, or a potential client, if that client's in the know, they look at your photographs the way that I do. So you have to look at your photographs the way that I do. And I know it's hard sometimes to hear the things that I point out, because the things that I point out are like invisible to you. It's crazy. All right, let's get into Washugali? Replacement image for the critique. Narrative above, shot with a Nikon 8D50, 24-70, shot at 1/800th at 2.8. All right, let's have a look at this photo from Washugali. That's gonna be hard for me to remember. I love the idea. I love the location. The location is dope. I'm just worried about, I'm not sure what you're doing in post-production. I can see, number one, there's some sort of close cropping that's happening here, which makes me think that this is some sort of either an AI replaced background or like just a different shot. I can see. And unfortunately, where it starts to blur on the edge here really starts to get distracting. And unfortunately, like, the photo here is cool. It's just, I'm seeing blur, or this is a depth of field thing. And I'm also seeing there's like a file quality that I'm seeing, meaning you're JPEGing a JPEG. What happens when you shoot JPEGs is it's compressed, meaning you don't get all the data. You get part of the data. So imagine you shot RAW, but then you made a JPEG, and then you wanted to do something with it, and then you opened the JPEG, and then you did a couple of things with it, and you just closed it. And you thought of something like, as soon as you open a JPEG and do anything and save it, you're now cutting the data off again, and cutting the data off again, and cutting the data off again, until your file is actually butchered. And this file is butchered. If I look at the eyes and see how digital the eyes look, that's because your file is butchered. If I look at other areas, like it's not so evident around the mouth, but if I look at anywhere where the exposure gets low, meaning in the black shirt, I can see all the data loss in all this area here because it pixelates. That's because when we shoot RAW, The raw file is the master. We process a TIFF, which is an uncompressed version of the raw file with our settings and our color and everything in there. That becomes the master. If you want to make a JPEG, make it from the TIFF. If you want to make a different JPEG, make it from the TIFF. If you want to make a smaller JPEG, make it from the TIFF. Because once you open up a JPEG and close it, cool. And then as far as whatever you're doing with the AI in this photo, and I'm sorry, I can't go back through all of these comments during a live stream and go back to 11:21 when you talked about this photo. I just can't do that. If it's not contained right there with the photo I'm looking at, I'm not going to read it. So whatever you're doing with AI, it's too much. And that's not a way when you're a new photographer to be learning. Your idea is there. The light, the expression, and all of that is there. But when you're shooting with the zoom lenses have, like, imagine your 28-70 has, I'm gonna guess 22 to 28 pieces of glass in there in order to make up that lens, okay? My 85 or my 50 or my 16 or my 100 or my 135, all of my prime lenses have between 4 and 8 elements. So the difference in the amount of glass that your image has to go through if you choose to buy a zoom lens because you think you're saving money by buying 4 lenses in one, what you're really doing is getting one shit lens that is trying to be 4 good lenses, and it's not. That's why when you open a pro photographer's camera bag, there's 12 lenses and they're all this big. There's a 20, a 24, a 28, a 35, a 50, an 85, a 100, I have 7 lenses. You know what I mean? 5 of them are primes. There's only 2 lenses that are zooms, and those 2 lenses are really, they just are on my table right now. The 70 to 200, and in front of it is, a 70 to 210, a 70 to 210 back there, 70 to 200, and a 24 to 70 sitting there. You can have them, literally. They're just garbage. What's on my camera is a 50. What's on my bag, on my camera most? 50, 85, 100. I'm a people shooter. Those are the lenses that I use. So a $200 50 millimeter 1.8 will be sharper than your $3,000 24 to 70. Sorry. And also, when you're shooting a 24 to 70, that's a 2.8, which is a very expensive lens, and you're shooting it at 2.8, you're going to get some really weird blur. So you can't shoot that lens, even if it is a 2.8, you can't shoot it at 2.8. You got to shoot that lens at f4, 4 and a bit. Like, yeah. And again, my suggestion, you're a portrait photographer. Clearly, you're a portrait photographer by looking at this picture. You're a portrait photographer. Buy portrait lenses. Start with a 50, then get an 85. And I was a photographer, pro, working in the industry. I had 2 lenses, a 50 and an 85, and that's all I needed. And I did that for 15 years. So 50, 85, that's all you need. If you're shooting people, you don't need wide, you know? Especially if you're shooting portraits. All right, again, for your first submission, great. But for your first submission using any kind of AI or any kind of tools, I can't help you. I'm not able to help you because I don't see what your core photography is. I don't see what your photography is without manipulation. Show me the skeleton so I can help you build a better body. If you're showing me shit with plastic surgery on it already, how am I going to help the real you? Right? Let me help the real you. Show me pictures without AI, without generative backgrounds or any of that stuff, because I am going to catch it with Washugli. Very difficult name, Washugli. Thank you for submitting. That is Washugli's first image. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's get into Scott G. Scott G. Scott says, after watching the Pepper reviews, I just had to make a studio photo. So, this is what I learned. PC over the background, light bulbs. Okay, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got here. Scott G. Scott, this is a really good attempt. This is a really good attempt, especially for using the type of light that you're using. I mean, studio light, when you're using studio light, it's so much easier to craft the kind of light that you're trying to get. But for this attempt, for the quality that you were able to achieve, for the composition that you were able to achieve, you absolutely are getting an 11 out of 10 here. Like, what's happening here is you're not taking pictures, you're making pictures. You had an idea, and even if you do not have photo grade equipment, you made it work. And by the way, looking at the stuff that you bought from Home Depot, I'll tell you, you can go on Amazon and buy stuff on Amazon that is so insanely low price. You can get a studio head for like $140. A studio quality head that you could put umbrellas and attach to a stand. Like again, I have a light right there. Bought it on Amazon. It's my video light. I use it for all my videos. And there's studio lights that I'm going to be buying from Amazon because the quality has come up so much and the price has come down so much. You don't need to go to Home Depot. But the black velveteen, somebody's been watching my show because nobody knows about that. And I have mentioned black velveteen as the only way to achieve black and the way that I get jet black in all of my photographs. But you absolutely have been watching my content and you absolutely look at this black. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of cleanup that you could do over here, sure. But overall, you should be thrilled with the results of this photo. And also, I'm very impressed with your sharpness. I can also tell that you're on a tripod. I can also tell that you're on a tripod by how sharp the image actually is. I can tell you're on a tripod. I can tell that you shot this with discipline, and it's clear that you're trying to learn something. I can't wait for you guys to see my latest video, by the way. My latest video comes out tomorrow. Can't wait. Make sure you're watching it. It's going to come out tomorrow morning. This is really good. Really, really good, Scott. Scott, very, very proud of you. If I didn't give you the applause already, if I didn't give you the smoke already, I'm giving you the smoke. I'm giving you the applause again, and I'm giving you the 11 again. By the way, if you don't know what an 11 is, back in the day when we used to listen to rock and roll music, the guitar player would like, yo, turn that amp up to 11, but it would only go up to 10. So 11 was like, just make it better than loud. Like, make it the loudest and then make it louder than that. Like, that's what an 11 out of 10 is. 10 out of 10 is perfect. An 11 out of 10 is exceptional. An 11 out of 10 is spectacular. 11 out of 10 is something that if I give you an 11, that's something meaning you've raised your bar. So an 11 is a thing. So take it seriously. Well done, Scott. All right, guys. Let's get into another shooter. You guys still with me? Still interested? Am I still holding your attention? Am I holding your attention still? What the?
God fucking no.
Dude, then leave. Go. Get away from me. Jeez, like, everybody's got to make a comment here, man. Oh my God. By the way, you guys do control my stream. If you are watching live, pay attention to what my robot, my Stream Elements bot says. And if you don't know how to control my stream, type commands like I'm going to do for you right now. When you type commands, and you'll get a link that'll show you, and then click that link. It'll give you a list of all the things that you can do to control my stream. Like, you can literally do this to me while I'm in the middle of a conversation, you can do this. And I can't control it. You control it. So chat controls my stream. It's super fun. All right. So let's get into our next photographer. His name is Durell. Couldn't stop looking at my submissions and making edits. This is it. I won't come back until after tomorrow. After Thursday's show, I've convinced my wife to come to Vancouver's Gastown to do a shoot. We shot over 1,000 photos. This one stood out for me, learning what to look for. You guys, meaning this Carty crew community, have raised the bar for me. Thank you. Shooting with the R6 70mm ISO 100. This is photography from Durell, and Durell is now in my mentorship program. Let's go, Durell. Well, I like the idea. I like the idea. I like the idea. The pose doesn't bother me as much as where her head is looking. I think the fact that, again, her chin is up. Her chin is up because she's conscious of her self-chin, or of her double chin. She's conscious of a double chin, so she has her chin up. What I want you to do is what I mentioned earlier. By the way, oh my God, it's 1985. What I mentioned earlier was chin out and on a table. And if we have that angle, like, because that's the only thing that's missing. Let's go, Sam McCrae. Never heard of him. Sam McCrae, welcome back, buddy. 2 months. Let's go. Appreciate you, Sam. Welcome back. So, if
New member.
Oh my goodness, Charles McCain back again for 2 months. Let's go, Charles. I appreciate you guys. You guys get the smoke. Let's bring up the smoke. Let's go.
New member.
Holy cripes. Calligraphy. You know, it must be new member day. Must be new member day. Let's go. The smoke is going. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. Let's change this to remind people in case they forget how to submit. There you go. All right. So let's get back to Durell's photo. So that's the only thing I'm missing, man. That's all I want. I just want eye contact, because what we have is contrast. What we have is we have black, white, and gray. I see black, white, and gray. Still, you could go a little bit brighter. I want you to make sure that skin doesn't feel muddy, and I am going to help you with your post-production. I'm going to help you with your post-production so you don't have to touch the blur tool. You don't have to touch the blur tool. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you all with post-production because I see so many of you have problems. The pose is cool. The jacket over the shoulders is cool. Like the fact that you squared her up and shot her straight on. I would get her to bring her arms around just to have her arms come in here. You know what I mean? And in here. So it gives you, so because we're not seeing enough of her hand here and we don't see her hand on the other side. So I'd bring her hands in here and here. And then I would just bring that face around to look at camera, and you got it. Like, it's a cover. And the whole goal is that every vertical picture is a cover. And if you look at this, you can see this is a cover. This is a magazine cover. You got the composition bang on. You nailed the composition. And again, this is something that I've been working on with you through several submissions, very hard on people who are trying to be photographers because somebody needs to be. You've heard, oh my God, you're the best. You've heard that for too long. I'm sorry, you're not the best. There's so many photographers that if you saw, you would be like, so be humble. Seriously, I've been shooting for 30 years and I don't even say that I'm the best. You know what I mean? Come on. All right. This is a great shot. You're getting the full applause. You're getting the full smoke. And I'm rating you. This is an 11, but you know you can make this better. And I explained to you quickly how you could do it, but the idea, the pose, the location, the choices that you've made, I'm watching you. I see you. Good job. Good job. Good job. That's photographs from Durell. Let's get it on. Guys, I hope you guys are having a good time. by the way. And if you're watching after the fact, you can be having a good time too. This is good vibes whether you're watching live or whether you're watching after the fact. You know, I mean, I do try to make people who are watching after the fact just have just a little bit of FOMO because you're controlling my chat and all this stuff. First photograph from James Lewis. James said this was a bit of a fun shoot, went in the idea of creating dramatic lighting using two 30 by 120 strip boxes, Canon R7, Sigma 50 art lens, f8, ISO 100. James Lewis Photography. James Lewis Photography. Let's go, James. James, first submission to the crew. James, you should be very, very happy. When you get me reacting like this and slamming the table, yo, that's vibes. That's vibes. That means that I'm feeling you. It's vibes. If I'm like slamming the table. This is excellent. It's pre-cropped, which I appreciate. It's excellent. I know the strip boxes are something, and you definitely got something. But there's some issues with the hair. And because of how her hair is styled, it's creating some really weird shadows. And this is, again, as you get more experienced, as you shoot fashion, you realize, like, if you're using side light, you can't have a big wavy bang because that's going to block light, as you can see that it did. You have a big wavy bang here, which is blocking light from hitting her face, which is creating this huge shadow and this shadow. So, I mean, it's dramatic, but when you're doing this kind of a photo, when you have a light coming from this direction and a light coming from this direction, secret time is you want it to look, I know what you want it to look like. You want it to look like there's a light coming from here and from here. But what side light actually does to a face, it's not that flattering, no lie. Like full side light, it's not flattering. So what that does is it puts all of these weird shadows like in the eyeballs, because our eyeballs are circles, right? So if you light from the side so much that the circle of your eye creates a shadow for the inside part of your eye, well, it's too much side light. You can achieve the same look without going so side. You don't have to be from here. You can do the same thing if the lights are from here. The same look if the lights are from here. But again, two front lights. There's only one sun. So why would there be two front lights? And I'm going to show you the light that you want to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. So imagine, I'm going to draw this diagram, and you too can practice this at home. This is your background, okay? This is your subject. This is where your light is. You have one strip box here, and you have one strip box here, okay? That is not the way. If you're trying to get that vibe where you have a shadow down the middle, and you have highlight and highlight on either side, how you get it is not by having light there and there. You get it by having light more here and here. But there's only one sun. So because there's only one sun, there's no point in doing light like that. So we flip it. And what you do, here's your background again. Here's your background. And here's your subject. And here's your camera. And here's your light. You light one side here. So this is your beautiful Rembrandt lighting. And here's her nose, and the light that's here is pushing the shadow off the background, okay? What I'm about to show you is advanced lighting, but this is what you do, okay? Then it's called mirrored light. You take your second light and you have it in the exact mirrored position. You have the second light in the exact mirrored position back here, aiming this way. So you're creating a light sandwich, only you're hitting it from this angle. So you have Rembrandt lighting on the face and you have an insane rim. So you're getting a crazy highlight, a rim on this from the light that's back here aiming this way, and the light that's here aiming that way. Obviously it's not low, it's more from high. The light that's coming this way, it's hard because it's a two-dimensional plane that I'm drawing here, but you can imagine now the light that's going in that direction is lighting this side of the body and creating a shadow here. But then the light that's coming back here is catching that shadow and giving you a highlight. That's kind of how you do it. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense. But basically, you make a light sandwich. Subject here, light here, light here. This one aims here, this one, like the lights aim at each other. And then you are here on this axis. And then you could have your subject rotate and do all the circles that they want. And you can see what the light looks like as they're rotating without you moving. You stay on this same axis. If you guys have a desire to shoot in the studio and learn studio light, consider watching my how to flatter, 2 simple ways to flatter with one light. And I'll show it. I show you that. I'm going to do more lighting stuff this winter. I feel like you guys need lighting help. I feel like you guys want lighting help. You're dying for lighting help. And I love doing lighting. So expect a course. Number one, I'm going to make a course on lighting, but also workshops. As far as your first photograph for submission, James, like, my God, your first photograph for submission gets absolutely an 11 out of 10. It's so good. It's almost too good for your first submission. It shows me how serious you are. It shows me how you're incredibly passionate about photography. You are not taking pictures. You are making pictures. You can see clearly this is making pictures. It's idea and execution. That is why everyone that you've seen today who's submitted that is making pictures, it's why the level just looks like at such a higher level, because they had an idea, they made a plan, and they executed it. If you haven't switched your mind from taking pictures to making pictures, what are you waiting for? Everybody with their iPhone takes pictures. Oh, it's pretty. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Oh, that's so pretty. It's like, there's no value if you're making those photos unless you're shooting at a National Geographic level already. Are you shooting at a National Geographic level of your just shit that you see? If the answer is no, then you're wasting time. You need to think about idea and execution. People will pay you for ideas and executing an idea, saying, hey, can you take a picture of me on white for my album cover? And you're like, absolutely. And guess what you give them? A picture on white for their album cover. That's art and commerce. You know what I mean? It's never going to be, oh, well, just what do you want? Well, I don't know. What do you want? Well, I don't know. What do you want? Well, what do you think? Well, I don't know. What do you think? Like, it's not how the industry works. People are hyper specific. They want to hire the right photographer with the right style to execute the right idea. If you want to be part of that system, doing the photography part, get used to executing your own ideas so you can learn how to execute them for other people. All right, let's get to another review. Well done, James. Very, very well done. Very, very, very well done, James. Woo. All right, let's get to our next shooter. Our next shooter is Turtle. Turtle is a drone photographer and also a drone pilot. And Turtle is certified, meaning he's licensed to drive a drone in circles, and he's incredibly talented. He's very good. He's been making shorts and asking for my eyes on some of these shorts. So as a favor to Turtle, I am going to share one of his shorts, which he just posted, with you. Turtle, right off the bat, the quality is right there. Like, I'm feeling the 4K. feeling the 4K. I think there's probably audio. Let me just take this from the top. Yeah, this has got all the right ish to sell for reels. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's good, Turtle. That's good. We're just going to watch it one more time, if you don't mind. So clearly you're doing this for her. Number 27, you're showing number 27 doing laps. You're showing number 27 doing a little rubbing and racing. And then showing her from the drone view. A droney is great. Again, showing the aggro. Amazing. Giving you a nice 360 view of her, which is amazing. And then loading into the truck. And then your promo. I think the promo is a bit heavy. Personally, I think the promo at the end is a bit heavy. I think that the whole page of like, yeah, find me here, find me here, find me here, blah, 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 like it's too much. You know what I mean? Like just Turtle Drone Solutions. Like just that's it. That's it. Like they'll Google that. They'll see the rest because it doesn't hold on the screen long enough. It doesn't hold on the screen long enough for them to register it. And it's not easy to pause. So just think more about like Turtle Drone Solutions. Just think of that, or like a very minimal watermark that you can have that's on the whole video that says Turtle Drone Solutions. I think if they make it to the end and you just, because the idea for a drone, I mean, for a video to go viral, especially a reel, is multiple watches. So you have to make it loop, meaning this opening shot, the opening shot where, this is the secret, is the opening shot. You make that opening shot, this shot right here. You make this opening shot the end shot. So it starts and ends here.
Welcome.
And then, let's go, Sean T, welcome. Then it loops. And then you'll just play it over and over and over again because you don't know when it starts and when it ends. So this shot here, you end right where, this is a great shot. I'm going to pause this too. Like, instead of ending on this, no one's ever, like, there's so much, there's literally, Turtle, there's a horrific amount of information here. Like, it's actually an offensive amount of information here. Turtle Drones, follow everywhere on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Behance, LinkedIn, Twitter, and McDonald's. Like, link space at, like, this isn't happening. None of it's happening. People aren't seeing any of it. All you need to do is have Turtle Drones. Follow everywhere. That's it. That's it. The QR code. This is short form content. Short form content they look at on a phone. They can't QR code while they're looking at the thing that they need to QR code from. Do you know what I mean? People aren't looking at shorts on their desktop. They're looking at long form on their desktop. So the QR code's not necessary. All the icons, not necessary. Turtle Drones, follow everywhere. Boom. End of story. And the thing is, you don't even need that because then that breaks the attention and means that you know you're at the end, which means people won't watch it again. How you have to end this shot is right here. Right here. When you're showing this, go from this shot to this shot to here. And then it loops. And literally the heavy promo, like, that can be in the description. Like, if people want to find who shot this, they're going to look in the description. And again, it's like you're just doing video watermarking, which is the same as, like, I make long form videos at the end, stevecarty.com. But people are looking at that on a phone. Yeah, they are. But I don't have a QR code there. And stevecarty.com, they can remember that. They can remember stevecarty.com. They can remember at stevecarty everywhere. So Make your viewers feel smart. Make your viewers feel smart. When you give them design sensibility, things like this doesn't make your viewers feel smart. This is for you. It has nothing to do with your viewers. And you make this stuff for viewers. Make it fun to watch. Take your promo out, make it loop, and people will be watching it 10 times. That is my advice for you, young turtle. Well done. All right. All right. Yeah, I can critique video too, guys, by the way, if you're sending me shorts. I mean, this is a photography show. We are trying to keep it photography. But because Turtle is somebody that I'm helping closely, I've been helping closely for over almost a year, you can definitely see he has a business there. I'm just trying to help him get there. All right. First of all, we need some beats because, come on, I can't be here in silence. You know what I mean? I need like a little something. Julie is back with the submissions. Let's go, Julie. Julie with a beautiful photograph of Taya. Really, really lovely, Julie. Nice open shade. Make sure that you don't go too far with the retouching. I know that you took a lot of years off of her. I know that you took a lot of years off of her. Just make sure that you're not going too far with the retouching. The skin retouching, Julie, by the way, is my retoucher. She does all my posts. It's good. It's good, Julie. It's good. Again, I think that you might have went a little too far with her skin, but it's beautiful. Like, it's really beautiful. And it does, like, it's a cover. Like, it's a cover. And I love the way that you shoot in such an editorial fashion, Julie. Like, look at this. It's a magazine cover. Julie follows all the rules when it comes to shooting editorially. She shoots non-distracting backgrounds. Every horizontal is double page spread. Julie says her foundation was horrific. Yeah, I can understand that, Jules. I'm sorry. Julie says her foundation was horrific. I apologize for that. Yeah, Julie, it's strong. Like, I love the wind swept, the wind that you have going around her hair, like here. Oops. Come on now. Give me my screen brush, yo. Show me my screen brush. Thank you. The wispy, Julie, is amazing. I don't know why this isn't going right now, but yeah, it's not rocking. Oh, there it is. But yeah, it's not painting on that one, so. The wispy is amazing, Julie. I love it. I really do. Let me just quit screen brush over there. And again, Julie, I've been watching your socials, so I do see the work. I do see, like, how hard you work. You know what I mean? I definitely see it. I don't want you to think I don't see it. Like, I notice it. I notice how hard you work. I notice how hard you try. Like, the wispy hair is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love what she's wearing. You cropped right at the right spot to give men, like, we're looking right there. It's perfect. Like, all the lines are right. I think I would love a reflector. If you were kicking a reflector just a bit, because we don't have a catch light in her eyes, which makes her eyes just look a little dark. Just a little bit of a reflector. Like, when we punch in, you can see, like, just the highlight of the beach, but because it doesn't have, like, that extra brightness, I think it needs it. Just a little bit of a reflector. I know that you don't often shoot with a reflector. This is one that it would definitely have helped with. But Julie, again, this is an absolute banger. Absolutely gets the smoke. And know that, like, this is you creating work that I expect. You creating work at the level that I expect. Julie says that I don't have a decent assistant. What's up, Brother Les? I'm glad you're here. Glad everybody's here. I know that Julie says that she doesn't have a decent assistant, and I know that that's difficult. And finding finding an assistant is necessary to hold a reflector, to do all those things that you need help with. Especially once your pictures start to advance like how you are, not having someone help you, someone's a little less experienced than you that you can teach some things, like it's slowing you down. You know, you need to ask for help sometimes. All right, let's look at another shooter. Julie, well done. Great job. I think we have like 3 or 4 shots left. Romeo. This is just some street photography. He asked him if he could take a photo. The guy said yes. Shot with a Fuji X-T3 with a 35mm 1.4. And apparently it's hard for you guys to choose just one photo, which is good. It's good. I want you guys to be discerning and not just sending me everything. I definitely see what you saw here. The focus is a bit off, so I want to make sure that you're aiming for this part here between the white and the color of the eye. In this picture, you're doing the close eye. So this is the close eye, this is the far eye, because you're coming in from this direction. So yeah, we got to just make sure that that eye's in focus. You can see here when I zoom in at 100% that it's a little soft. And we're looking at like, where is the point in this image that is tack sharp? Like, I don't really see what's sharp. So I want you to also make sure that like you're shooting lots of frames, you're within the minimum focusing distance of the lens, and you have a single focus point chosen, like a single focus point. And yes, I know you guys are dying to cut this guy's eyebrows that are going out of control. And I know you're dying to cut his nose hairs here. But again, he is a man of the streets. Composition wise, you nailed it though, Romeo. As far as it being a cover, like this is cover composition. You're starting to learn how to shoot editorially. This is very much a cover image, which is amazing. You can see it feels very much like a cover picture, which is great. And just the last thing, just watch your exposure. This is plus half a stop here. Oops. This is plus, I would say, half a stop here. So make sure that your exposure doesn't go too bright. I do like the contrast. We got good black parts in here. We got good whites of the eyes. We got good gray back here. Like really great contrast. It's just, again, the skin here. I would drop this, start with -1/3, see what it looks like with -1/2. Just to see for me. But this is getting a applause, getting smoke, and getting an 11. I know that you're progressing. Focus is something that I want you to really watch on. I really want you to be watching your focus. Make sure that you're nailing that focus every single time, especially when you don't have that much time, especially when you only have a little bit of time to shoot. Make sure you got that focus nailed and shoot lots of frames. You're doing well though. You're doing well. All right. Let's see. Anna, submitting an editorial portrait shot with the Nikon D780 and a 105. 105. Let's go, Anna. Anna is also in my mentorship program. And Anna, this is great. Great. Let's go. This is a magazine photograph. This is a lifestyle photograph. This is an editorial photograph. You can see regular people doing regular things and not caring about the camera. This is what actually is selling. This is what's making this so great, Anna. This is what's making this so absolutely great. You should be thrilled. And although my magenta cover art doesn't really match your color scheme here, it's a little clashy, but you can see how great this is as a cover. The way her legs are crossed over, we see her pants, we see her shirt. Like, she's paying attention to the book. She's not posing. You have the bags placed. Now I want you to notice this logo. right here. I want you to notice that she's wearing Converse running shoes. I want you to notice the pair of pants that she's wearing. I want you to notice she's wearing a shirt that says Drama Queen. And I want you to notice that she's reading a picture book in such a way that you can't actually see what it is. You can't see the cover, and the glasses and the leaves, this canopy, the way that this darkness breaks your eye. Little hint of a tree back there that I feel like could kind of push over and cut just a bit, but all the elements of this, the composition, meaning the diagonal cross composition, that you can like draw an X through this picture, the way her legs push into this corner, the way her elbow pushes into this corner, it's really, really, really strong. Anna, again, really strong, cropped perfectly, cropped for a magazine, works for 8x10. Like, this is a photograph that you followed all of the rules. And it's like, it's almost like you're in my mentorship. It's almost like you listen to what I say. And also the exposure. I didn't say one thing about the exposure because your exposure is perfect. Your exposure is perfect. That's something that I've been watching with you. This is it. It's still bright, but it's not too, it's perfect. Anna, I am so proud of you, and I feel progression. Do you feel progression, Anna? I know that you feel progression. I know that you do. I definitely feel your progression. Let's go. That makes me happy. All right. E-friend. I have a fashion photographer who's been watching me for 2 years. This photographer, from literally, I would say the first submission, I said, holy moly, this one is a photographer. This one is a fashion photographer. Like, such a pure fashion photographer, no ego, no pretense, such a gentle, nice human, and makes the kind of photographs, like, this photographer makes the kind of photographs that you're like that. Like, this is how you react when you look at this photograph. This is a photographer. His name is E-friend. Let's go, E-friend. Again, absolutely stunning. Like, just showstopper. It's already pre-cropped to a 9x12 format, but this is a showstopper. I want you to look at the no pose. People think that you need to pose, eh? This is a pose. Look at what she's doing. She's just standing there. Like, look at how her legs are open. Look at the untied Doc Martens. Like, look at her fingers. Like, right down to her fingers. Look at how her arms, she's making one arm go higher than the other. So, like, I want you to look at the feet. Look at the Van socks, the untied, the Doc Martens, the background. Look at the light, how the light liquefies, has shadow. Like, this photographer, Stephen Cheong Lean, who is in chat. This is Stephen Cheong Lean's photographs. Stephen, you are bending my brain. And again, I have the highest standards for you, and you're going to be a working pro. Like, there's just no doubt about the fact of how much money you're going to make in this industry. I want you to make sure you don't let those highlights blow out, because we are getting a little bright in the highlights, in here. Just make sure that you don't go too hot, and also focus. Usually your photos are just tack sharp. Make sure that you maintain that insanity as far as the focus that you know that you can do. Just make sure that you maintain that, because smaller, I mean, this is a picture that's passable. It's gonna fly. No one's gonna notice it, because at the small size here, you're not gonna notice it. It looks amazing from here. But I want you to make sure, because the shoes are sharper than her face. So make sure that we have everything at the same sharpness. The tattoo is sharper than we have back here. Make sure, I'm not sure if you're tethered, but just check your focus every few frames, because Murphy's Law, that perfect frame is going to be just a touch soft. So make sure you could shoot it again and again and again and again. So you can just beat a dead horse. But your level is always there. Your quality is always there. You're always knocking it out of the park. Steven, I'm impressed. But again, your bar is so high. Don't let small things like out of focus slip through. Like, you're too good for that kind of stuff to slip through. Come on now. Amazing photograph. Steven says, nothing gets by Carty. That's why I'm here. Let's go, my guy. Very great photo. Very, very, very great. Like, seriously. And again, like, the photographs that Steven looks at, you can see his influence. He's not looking at local photography. He's looking at Vogue. He's looking at Harper's Bazaar. He's looking at Arena. He's looking at GQ. He's looking at this Vanity Fair. Like, he's looking at, like, he's not looking at Instagram. Can you tell that that photographer is not looking at Instagram for inspiration? You know that, right? This photographer is not looking at Instagram for inspiration, which is why when he puts his photographs on Instagram, when people are scrolling, it stops the scroll, because that does not look like an Instagram photo. It looks like a magazine photo. Good job. Good job. Good job, Steven. All right. We have a couple. We got one more. One more. My brother got one under the wire in, but let's look at Ernest Poole, also known as Junebug. Ernest, this is amazing. Amazing. Christmas themed, lit with Christmas lights. That catch light, that depth of field, you getting low at the same level, this crazy like highlight, this pink, this green that you have happening over there, her skin tone, the exposure, like, this is fire. Like, absolutely fire. Absolutely fire. Like, again, another photographer. And you can see, the people who are watching me, they're starting to listen. The people who are watching me are starting to listen to the power of making photos versus taking photos. You can see clearly the photographs that were submitted are today some of the best photographs. And also, by the way, you're better if I ask you to only submit one. If I ask you to submit one, tell me you don't find the best photo of the day. The photo, the best, your best, like, you find like, okay, this is my heart. Here, I'm putting it on the table. When I give you even three, you're like, take it this, and it's like two or and one is amazing. Give me one. This is what we're doing now. We're doing one photos, because when I ask for one photo, I get this. I get what, like, look at this episode. Every single submission is like mind-bending. So good. Guys, you know, the cutoff of the submissions is the beginning of the episode. So this is the last photo that we're going to look at today. But Junebug, I'm so impressed. I'm so pleased with the level of quality. I'm so pleased with the level of quality. If I didn't give you a 10 already, it's an 11 already. It's an 11 out of 10. And as a cover, this is a magazine cover. You're a magazine photographer. You might not know you're a magazine photographer, but this is perfect in almost every way. Make sure that you're not going too low with the hand. The hand's a little close with the clipping. Make sure you're not going too close with the chin. The chin is a bit tight with the clipping. This distance here is about is like close as I would want to go. Everything else is fine. The leading line, the fact that you have this going up into this corner, the fact that you have something else happening in this corner, you have something happening in this corner, and this being open here for our masthead just says everything for me. This is an absolute banger. You should be thrilled. All right, we are at the end of the episode where I say a couple things. Number one, I'm awarding Photo of the Week. Number two, I'm also going to be giving you an assignment. And this assignment, you are going to like. You're going to like because it's only one photo. Brother Les, you submitted a photo after way late, like 7:30. So we're going to hold that one for next week. But I am going to give you guys this week's assignment. Are you ready for this week's assignment? We are chipping away at your portfolio. The goal is to help you make portfolio level photographs. And you saw after today's episode should have inspired you. Today's episode should show you, like, if not where your bar is because you didn't submit photographs, it'll show you other photographers that are learning on their own, that are watching my channel, what they're doing. So kind of be like Mike. See what other people are doing that are watching this channel and how they're progressing and how they're taking my critiques, and make sure that you're kind of doing the same thing, you know? And again, Efren's work has looked like this, and it's gradually been pushing like up and up, like for 2 years. And again, after a year, it jumped to the level like you should be working. And now he's still watching because he wants photography business help. He wants photography business help. Like, teach me how to get the business going. The work part, he's already out of the phase of the work. He's into the phase of the packaging and the outward reach and the systems and putting it all together. So yeah, that's what eFriend is. And again, it's like, I help photographers at all levels as long as you're trying to be a pro. Because if you're not trying to be a pro, I only want to make content for people who are trying to be creative for a living, because it's way more fun. I've been a creative for a living for 33 years. I've learned some stuff, so why not let me help you with some of those things? So what do you want first, photo of the week or this week's assignment? Photo of the week. Photo of the week. Of course you want photo of the week, right? I want photo of the week. So let's get into photo of the week. From all my submissions, and they were, oh my God, why are you making this so hard? Holy crap. Why are you making this so hard? Holy crap. Okay, this is hard. This is hard. This is really hard. But I'm gonna see if I can do it in 3. Let's see if I can do it in 3 photos of the week. 3. And again, I am judging on so many things, man. On so many things. I'm judging on so many things here. Wow. This is hard. Because I can't give it to everybody, you know? I really can't. I can't give it to everybody. Wow. Okay, I have 4 here. Wow. Okay, we're gonna do we are gonna do 3. In no particular order. These are your photos of the week. By the way, if you submitted, you're already winning. If you got a critique from me today, you're already winning. Everybody who submitted today should win photo of the week. Everybody. I can't give it to anybody or everybody. I picked 3, okay? 3 photos to deserve, for me, photo of the week. First one. You guys ready? First photo of the week. Absolute magazine cover. It goes to Sebastian Kawaka with this photo right here. Photo of the week. Absolutely photo of the week, Sebastian. You 100% deserve it. 100% deserve it. 100%. It's mind-bending how quickly you've improved in such a short time of watching me. The level is there. The magazine quality is there. The exposure, the focus, the color balance, the idea, and the emotion that I feel looking at this photo. You nailed it. So you win photo of the week. Again, keep in mind, guys, I'm judging everybody against themselves. I'm judging everybody against themselves. If somebody has a level up, I'm rating them. Okay? So know that. Whew. All right. On to our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to a photographer, again, that this photographer is going to be surprised that I chose this photo. And you might be surprised that I chose this photo. But this photo of the week is because of how hard this photographer tried to get this result. How hard this photographer tried to get this result, and also proving that using non-professional equipment can also achieve incredible results, and also proving that you can do tests, you can be improving your photography with like a camera and the things that you have around you. Our next photo of the week goes to Scott G with this photograph of the chicken. This photo of the week. And the reason is because he lit this with lights from Home Depot. He bought black velveteen because he wanted to be able to achieve true black. And he listened to my podcast and heard me mention once that I use black velveteen that's how I get my jet black background behind my portraits. The exposure, the composition, the framing, the idea. Put in a real chicken, put in any product here, and this is a really high quality photograph from lights from Home Depot. No excuses. This picture 100% deserves photo of the week because it shows you that when you're determined to make something happen, nothing can stop you. Good on you, Scott G. Let's go, baby. So glad you're part of the crew. All right. Our next photo of the week. You want to talk about focused? You want to talk about niched? Do you want to talk about they have created their own photography rules? Do you want to talk about rules for light, rules for shooting 3/4, rules for shooting beauty, rules for shooting on location, rules for shooting in the studio, contrast, styling, posing? Our next photo of the week, people, it goes right here to Stephen Cheong Lean with this photograph right here. Absolutely mind-bending. Like, know that this photographer is young. And Stephen, you can tell us how old you are in chat if you like, but the quality of this shooter, you can tell he's looking at Helmut Newton. He's looking at Richard Avedon. He's looking at masters from the past. He's not trying. In fact, Stephen is quite egoless. He's not putting his ego in his photographs. Do you know what I mean when I say he's not putting his ego in his photo? He's not trying to do elaborate poses. He's not trying to do... And believe me, he could. He could do more complicated light setups, but he shoots timeless and classic. And he's disciplined, and he doesn't give a shit what anyone else is doing. It doesn't affect his work and his photography. So Stephen, again, you give me goosebumps, and I love that. I love when you submit. I love when you're watching, because you give me always joy, because you care so much about photography and you share photos like this. Well done. Photo of the week. Mental. Just mental. My viewers, you guys, like, I'm telling you, man. And our last photo of the week, guys. Our last photo of the week, just before I give you our assignment. Our last photo of the week goes to, and again, I don't think that this photographer is one photo the week before, and this photographer shook me today. Shook me. Like, I made me smile, made me actually feel like this is a really good idea. I kind of wish I shot that. And when I'm starting to feel like I wish I did that idea and I'm getting those submissions from you, it means that you are now starting to get into the real realm of like great idea and great execution. Guys, I'm going to give you our last photo of the week. It goes to the one they call Junebug. Let's go, Junebug. Photo of the week. Such a flick. Such a picture, man. So hot. So right. Like, it's just right. There's nothing I can say. It's just right. Whether the color balance is off or what, it's just right. And that comes from not being afraid to fail. Not being afraid to fail and just like hanging it out there. And not like, hey, it's going to work or it's not. But you know, let's try. Like that feeling of try and just, hey, I'm just going to try. I'm going to try against the idea. I'm just going to try. Like that's how a photographer is born. That's how a creative is born. That's how every most amazing idea you've ever heard, seen, or known has all come from someone saying, let's just try. And this is somebody trying an idea, going all the way down the street with that idea and reaching something at the end that equals this. So Junebug, congratulations on your photo of the week. Let's get it on. All right, guys, you like that episode? I'm glad. It's time for this week's assignment. At the end of every photo review, I like to give you an assignment, something for you guys to think about, something for you guys to try for this week. So this is what this week's photo assignment is. Many of you are trying to find your niche. Many of you are close and you know your niche. Many of you are now informed pessimist. Many of you are in the valley of despair. Some of you are on the way up with the optimism. So I need you to make one photograph. But in order to make one photo, you're probably going to have to make 3 or 4, but choose one to submit to me. I would like you to create a portfolio picture for your niche. Now, the specifics is this. Number 1, it has to be a vertical because it has to be a magazine cover. It has to be the cover of your portfolio, meaning the first thing that people see either when they open it or if it's a book like this, it's a hero picture enough that, that's Michael Sheen, by the way, a hero picture enough that it can go on the cover of your portfolio. Shoot a hero picture within your niche. Now, your niche, it might not be portraits. Your niche might be food. Your niche might be product, but I want you to shoot a hero picture. By the way, this is the power of a double page spread. See how I did that there? Back page, front page, double page spread. This is understanding how pictures and design work together. So shoot me one cover hero picture within your niche, whatever your niche is, okay? If you don't know your niche, still shoot a hero picture. If you don't know what your niche is, I want you to make a picture, not take a picture, make a picture, meaning come up with an idea and then execute. Come up with an idea and then execute. And it helps if you write out your idea and the elements that you want to have in the picture and then execute. You'll realize coming up with ideas for photos and then making them are so much more fun than just walking down around the street aimless and, oh, bird, oh, flower. It's like, it's actually way harder to do that. It's way harder to walk around without direction trying to make something amazing. It's really easy to actually walk around with direction and try to make something amazing. So, shoot 3, 4, Submit one hero picture. If you need some, again, I do not want to see them. So if you're trying to share them with other people to get opinions on what you should submit, send them to other Discord members via DM, because I look at Just Chatting. That's the place that I look. The submissions folder is the place that I don't look. I do not look at the submission folder unless it's Thursday at 6 o'clock. That's when I look. So I don't see the photos beforehand. So you get my actual reaction, my real reaction when I'm seeing them. So if I see this picture in chatting that you're not, and then you submit it, you're diluting the effect of the photograph. Don't dilute the effect of the photograph. All right. Yeah, if you want opinions, send them via DMs. You should be joining up with some people on Discord. There's so many people. There's almost 600 people on Discord. I'm sure you start to like some people, start a little DM thread with them, and start, hey, what do you think about this one? And what do you think about that one? So it's off and not for me to see, especially if it's something that you're considering to submit. Guys, do you have a good time? Yeah? Did you enjoy yourself? If you didn't have a good time, was I entertaining? Moderately? A little bit? I hope I was a little bit entertaining. I try hard to impress you. You know that, right? I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate your dedication. Again, please consider picking up something from the merch store, like this dope ass, the eye toque. Look at this. Custom. The eye toque. The logo. The same logo that you see right down here. That eye right here. We got a full eye collection in my limited edition merch store. We got the creative collection. We got all kinds of stuff. But again, I hope you guys like my commercial. I spent a long time writing that script. Guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. See you on the next one. New video drops tomorrow. Make sure you catch it. It's one of my best ones yet. I've never been so excited for you to watch one of my videos as the one that is dropping tomorrow morning. I am elated. By the way, this commercial-free stream that you're watching, you saw because of our members. Our members is the reason that I'm able to share commercial-free live streams. If you're watching this after the fact, it means that you're probably seeing commercials. And that's because you're not catching me live. You got to watch live, and then there's no commercials. After the fact, I actually turn the commercials on right now. If you subscribed recently, you're going to see your name scrolling across the bottom of the page. Thank you for subscribing. Becoming a member is the next level, which is what the people on the top of the screen there are doing. I am showing you all my members. Because of them, we have commercial-free content. Please go read the description of what you're watching right now. Look at my description. See all the cool stuff I have in there? And lastly, leave one word, what your niche is. I want to hear portraits or cars or flowers or commercial, or I just want to hear one word in the comments, what your niche is. Just give me that niche. What is it? I love you guys. Thank you so very much.